Hey y'all, it's Amanda, and like I promised, we're going to paint some poppies today here on my Facebook page. So if you're able to join me, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. Try to straighten up my camera a little bit. I'm going to turn my camera around in just a minute, but I thought I would talk to you first. So this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to let you guys choose what color you want to do. So we can either do red, or we could do pink, or we can do this pretty yellow color here. So as you're coming on, let me know what color you want to do our poppies today. I didn't realize they come in different colors, but searching on the internet not too long ago, I realized there are lots of different colors. So I know you've probably seen some of my larger paintings, and they're red. The poppies that I've done are red, like this one here. These poppies are red, and they have some collage work on them too. But I'm just going to give you a little sample lesson. Okay, Catherine says red. Give you a little sample lesson of how easy it is to paint with a palette knife. And a lot of people are intimidated by this, but I want you to get past that fear. And even if you've painted with a brush for a really long time, this is something that you can try that's new, that you might be able to add to whatever you're already creating. Or if you've never painted before, of course, this is something that you can pick up and do yourself also. So let's see. Looks like everybody's voting red so far. So that's what we'll go for. We'll do some red poppies. And I'm going to be using just this one palette knife. That's the only tool that you need. We're going to need red paint, black paint, white paint, and green paint. And that is it. Okay. So, hey everybody. I'm so glad to see you. It's been a really long time since I've done a live video here on my Facebook page. I've been taking a little break. Hi, Karen. Oh, there's a yellow. Somebody voted yellow. Over in my creative community, if you're a member there, there is this lesson where I teach you to paint all three colors if you want to go and check that out. That was, let's see, I believe that was in May when we did those. Catherine said, aren't those papers in the middle? Yes. This painting here, this one is up for sale on my website if you're interested in it. But yes, in the middle of those, I've got paper. So there's some paper collage like on the container here and in different areas. But that's a whole nother subject. And so all we're going to focus on today is just the actual flower part. We're going to paint it with a palette knife and paint. So all you need is paint and a knife to do what I'm going to do today. And of course, I've got myself my afternoon coffee here. So how have you all been doing? I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe and well. Like I said, I've taken a little break. I'm still kind of on vacation a little bit. I'm not doing as much work as I was doing, but I'm not blogging right now. I'm not podcasting right now, but I am still painting. And I actually opened up a fun new group. This is separate from my creative community, and it's just for beginner palette knife painters. So if you have ever wanted to try to do this, or if it's something that that you've been interested in, but maybe you felt like my creative community is so much more than just palette knife painting. So if you want to have a little start or a little snippet of where to begin, then this group may be something that's more up your alley. And right now, I'm accepting new members, brand new. We're just starting. I just opened it up last night, and there's a link in the description here so that you can go over and check that out if you're interested. And so now through July the 20th, it's $20 a month. And you can go to the page and look and see this month what our tutorial is and all the goodies that you get in that group. Okay, let's see. All right, so I guess we're going to go with red. And I'm going to turn my camera around over my table so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll get started. Here's a little view of my studio as we go around. All right. So this is our example here. This is what I'm going to look at. I'm going to use my mixed media sketch pad, and I'm just going to use paper, because if you practice on paper and you mess up, then you don't feel quite so bad about it. If you mess up on a canvas, you might be a little more reluctant to try new things and do things that you would feel more comfortable using paper with. So I always recommend that when you're practicing, you use paper. Of course, if you're using a canvas, you can always paint over it. That's not something that you should stress about at all. Tana is asking, will we have access or need to join the new group? Tana, if you are already in my creative community, you have access to everything that is going to be taught in the new group, but a whole lot more. So let me turn my camera back around, y'all. Let me talk about this for a minute. So I don't want to confuse anybody. And Tana, I just did a live chat over in the Creative Community Facebook group, and I kind of explained all this. But just in case somebody gets confused, the beginners group is for beginners. I'm not saying that beginners can't be a part of my creative community, but when I started out teaching online, I started the group, and okay, Tana says she's in there, she just hadn't started yet. That's okay. So when I started the group, we were mainly just doing palette knife painting, but it has grown into a whole lot more than that. So I was contemplating, should I make a course? And some of you who are on my email list may have seen this. I didn't know if I should make a course that went more in depth with creativity, or if I should just go all in with my creative community and really dig into creativity. And that's what I decided to do. So the creative community is now more than just painting with palette knives. It's drawing and watercolor and finding your own style. We have bonuses in there. We're going to have some guest teachers coming along. Just lots of mostly tailored to helping you to narrow down what you can create yourself, not just doing step-by-step lessons. So things like how to mix your paints, how to use water-soluble oils, just all kinds of different creative outlets for you to safely learn and grow and become as creative as possible while still being in a very supportive environment and really developing your own style as an artist. That's what the goal is in the creative community. That is kind of, you start out there doing step-by-step lessons, and what your end goal is in the creative community is to be able to create your own work confidently in your own style. Okay? The beginner's palette knife painting group is just for beginner palette knife painters. So it's going to be just one tutorial a month, one tutorial a month, and a supply list with a video about how to use those supplies and a technique video. So each month you'll get a new tutorial video, a new, like if this were the July tutorial, you would learn to paint this, and then that would go away. And then in August, you get a new tutorial video. and then it goes away, okay? Where in the creative community, there's a library of tutorials. There are just lots of different things there. So that's the difference in the two. The new palette knife painting group is just sort of like a jumping off point, especially for those who have been a little bit scared to try this and they don't know if they want to go all in with my big group or if they just want to start a little bit at a time. Because I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of messages, people asking me, do you think that I can do this? I've never tried this before and I'm scared. So I don't want you to be scared. So if you've never tried to paint before, especially if you've never tried to paint with a palette knife before, then my new group is for you. And then once you gain some confidence and you see that you can do it, then you might want to jump into my creative community, which is a lot more in depth and has a lot more to offer. So hopefully that makes sense. And the prices are different also. So the new group is just $20 a month. My creative community is $47 a month. And hi Amber. And so there's a difference because of the amount of information that's in each group. So hopefully that makes sense. And Tana, I hope that cleared everything up for you. Okay, let's start with our painting now. I'm going to turn my camera over here. And everybody has voted red for the poppies. So that's what we're going to do. And this is not the color that I wanted. So we're going to go with red. Two of the main things that I hear the most are, I'm afraid that I'm going to mess up, or I can't get messy enough. So with a palette knife, that is kind of your goal. Number one, to be loose, and number two, to not worry about making mistakes. So that's one of the reasons why I like using this so much better than a brush. And if you're used to using a brush and making tiny little details, then this is going to be a little bit strange and different in the beginning for you. But it's easy to do once you get the hang of it, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, so I've got out some cadmium red. I'm going to get out some white. And then we're going to need some black. Not very much. Oh, it's coming out anyway. Get a sip of my coffee. Oh no, I just saw, is it Yubi? Is that how you say your name? She's trying to get over COVID-19. I'm so sorry that you're sick. Hope you get better soon. Okay. Use this and wipe that off a little bit. So a poppy is one of the easiest flowers to paint, in my opinion. This is a heavy-bodied acrylic paint, and that just means that it's thick. If you don't have heavy-bodied acrylic paints, you can use craft paint. And if they're not thick enough, you can add a little bit of gel medium, and that will thicken up that paint enough that you can get it on your knife. But see how this is just really thick. It almost allows you to make a mountain out of it. Okay? So that makes it cling to the knife. If you were using a brush, you would probably want to thin it out because it will be hard to spread with a brush. Hi, Karen. Okay. The first thing we're going to do to make this poppy Let's get some red on our knife, and we're going to make just one petal here. And you can turn them different ways, but we're going to start with just a basic one. All right, so it's really just kind of like a circle, but it has a little bit of a flatter edge right here. All right, then we're just going to get some more red. We're going to take our knife, make a swipe like this, and then another swipe, just like this. Okay, and then we're going to wipe this off. I got to find my old rag. All right, then we're going to take a little bit of this white, and we're going to mix it with our red. We don't want it to be like pink, but we want it to be a more, like a lighter red. All right, so just get a little bit of that on our knife. And where the outside edge of this flower petal is, we're just going to scoot it along just to give it a lighter spot along the edge here and along the edge here. Okay. Then let's take just some really bright white and a tiny bit of red, so it's going to be really pink, and just go back, do the same thing. Not a lot of it, just a little. Okay, and then we wipe our knife off again and grab black. So I'm just going to use the end of my knife. See, it's just right there on the very end of it. And then I'm going to scribble that around right where the center of this would be. Now this is where I would put my paper if I were doing a collage. You see how messy I'm being? I'm not trying to be exact about this at all. And then I'm going to wipe it off again. Take the tip of this knife with some white and just make a few little dots in there. And that is how easy it is to create the flower. Now, if you want to have a stem, we need some green. Let's see if I can find my green. I rearranged my twirly paint holder. And so to make a stem, you can of course use a brush if you want to. I like to take just the side of my knife and tap it in the paint, just like that. So it's not really all over, it's just on the side. And then just pull down. And you kind of hold it at an angle. And then you can take some white do the same. And leaves, if you want to have some leaves. Alright, so let's try one turned this direction now. So we've got one here, we're going to turn this one that direction. And it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to show you this too. When we're making most any flower, you're going to have a dark or a bright color, and then you're going to have a medium color, and then you're going to have your lightest color. Which in this case was just a really light pink. And that's how you get the depth that you want to have in these flowers. You could even add some more white along the edge here. Oops, I got some black in there. But I'm not going to freak out because I didn't mess up. You just paint over it, and it's just fine. Hi, Jennifer. All right, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and then we're going to do another one of these turned in that direction. Okay, like I did before, start with your red, and we're going to do this petal, but we're going to do it over on this side this time. I'm going to make this one smaller. Okay, and then we have this shape coming around this way, and then another one coming around this way. These are quite abstract, so I don't do realism. Then we have the lighter color. Along the edges. And then the really light pink. I'm wiping my knife in between each one. And then pick up your black on the tip, and you scribble that around in the middle. And that's really what shapes the whole flower, is that middle part that you do. Okay, we'll do a stem on this one. Just going to tap the side of my knife. And this stem, we're going to make it come down like this. And we'll add a few leaves. You see how easy that was? Sharon said that little touch of white adds so much. Yes, it does. And that's why you need to save that white for the very end, because that is, it's like the jewelry. You add it last. And so if you wanted to do like I like to do things in threes. So if you wanted to do maybe a little bud, let's do that. That would be, just get some red here on the end of your knife. And let's see. Let's let it live. Where should our bud live? Let's just do it up here. Adding in little fillers and things like this really make it even more realistic, even though it's very abstract. So I'm tapping a little bit of white, just kind of marble that around. That's another one of my invented words for technique. I marble the paint. Okay, and then get your green and a little bit of white. And I'm not giving you paint color names right now because it doesn't really matter. You just use what you have. You got red, you got white, you got green, and you got black, then you can do what I'm doing here. All right, and then we're just going to kind of wrap that. I'm just barely touching it with the end of my knife. And then we'll pick up some paint and make us a stem. Let's connect it to this one here. Alright, so we've got our two flowers and our little bud there. See how much you can really make something look quite realistic, even though you're using very loose strokes, if you know where to put the paint. That's one of the key things. If you know how to use your value and you know where to put those colors, then you can be messy and you can be loose and you can still create things that are recognizable. Hi, Julie. It's been a long time since I've done a live video. It's probably been about a month. Hi, Gina and Dee Dee, first time watchers. I'm glad y'all are here. So I hope you guys can try this at home. So you can use a metal palette knife like this, or you can get these plastic ones and just start out trying something like this to see if you even like it before you buy something like this. But really, a metal palette knife is not expensive. It's maybe $4. Maybe $4. And of course, you can get sets that have, you know, lots of different shapes, but this one knife is the one that I use almost all of the time for everything. Flowers, landscapes, animals, you name it. That's the knife of choice for me. So, if you guys are interested in trying something like this, I would highly recommend my new palette knife painting for beginners group. I just opened it up last night. This is something totally different and new that I've never offered before, and it's just $20 a month, and there's a link in the description here for you if you're interested in doing that. And if not, if you want to just try painting some poppies like this at home, all you need is a knife. Of course, you can use a plastic one, or you can get one that's metal, and there's red, white, black, and green. You just need those 4 colors, and you can create poppies. Now, for these that I showed you at the beginning, you can do the same thing that we did here and create the pink one or the yellow one. You just have to change up your colors that you're using. And you can do your leaves and your buds and your stems and all those fun things. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's see. Hi, Pam. Her first time in Luann's first time watching. Danielle is watching from Bulgaria. Wow. Amazing. Isn't that so neat that we can see each other from so far away? The internet is amazing. Let's see. Did anybody have questions while I was painting and talking? I'm going to look back up through my comments here. Josie said she wanted to paint the yellow ones. So you can use the same thing here, just choose yellow instead of red. And you can do the same thing that I just did here. Just replace this red with yellow and you can create your flower just like that. So you guys, do you think you can do it? Helping people get past the fear of just trying it for the first time is what I would love to do. Because when I first started painting with a knife, I did it because it was hard for me to use brushes. Brushes are, they are detail oriented. And so it's hard for me, it may not be hard for you, but it's hard for me to be messy and loose when I'm painting with a brush. I can do it, but it's a lot easier for me to use a knife to do that. So don't be afraid of the palette knife. And if you're interested in my new group, I'm going to turn my camera back around so I can talk to you. If you're interested in the new group, like I said, there is a link in the description, and it's going to be $20 a month from now until July the 20th. So you can remember that, 20 and 20. For founding members is what I'm calling it. So that's just the very first members that I'm ever going to have in the group. You'll get in at $20 a month and you get to keep that price for as long as you're in the group. And if that's something that you're interested in, you have questions, then feel free to ask me and I'll do the best that I can to answer those questions. Debbie said she's going to try it. She just bought a palette knife last week. Great. I've never been able to really find a lot of help online with palette knife painting. There are a few YouTube channels that have some palette knife work on it and a little bit of instruction, but not a whole lot. So hopefully this will be helpful to a lot of people. Robin said this looks like fun. Is there anything that you need to do to prepare the canvas before painting on a canvas? If you buy, here's some canvases right here. If you buy a canvas that is white, then it is already prepared for you. It has something on it that's called gesso. So it has been prepared for you. And it says on the back of this one, acid-free titanium acrylic gesso primed. So this one has been primed. It's ready for you to use. So with a palette knife, you don't have to prime. You don't have to do anything like that with your canvas if it's already a white canvas that has been primed for you when you bought it. If you're buying something that's wood, you're going to need to put some gesso on it. But other than that, no, you don't have to do anything to really prime it. Most of the time when people do a lot of gesso and sanding and gesso and sanding, it's because they want to have a really, really smooth surface to begin with. And when you're working with a palette knife, you're going to have lots of texture, and that's kind of part of the look. So there's no point in doing all that prep work with palette knives. You just get your canvas and go for it. Debbie says, where do I sign up for class? If you look in the description right here in this video, there's a link for you to go to. Thank you, Karen. She said this was good and relaxing. That's my goal. I'm glad to hear that. Luann said, where's the link to join the beginners class? It's in the description here. Let me see if I can I may be able to comment and just put it right here. Yeah, because I had it copied earlier. So I just put it here in the comments also. You can just click on that link and it'll take you to my website where you can sign up. And what's going to happen is every month you're going to have a new tutorial video that's pulled from the archives of my creative community group. So the first tutorial for this month is a red and white striped container that has sunflowers in it. So that video will be there for all of July for you to learn from. And then at the end of July, that video will go away and you'll get a brand new one. So every month there'll be a new video there in the group for you to learn from. And you'll have all month to work on it. And then it will be replaced with a new palette knife painting video the next month. So also, if any of you are interested in my creative community, which I was talking about earlier, where there's just, it's more than just palette knife painting. I don't know if you're quite ready for that or if you're just interested in taking a look. You can also see a page on my website where you can read about what that group is all about too. So when you go to artbyamandyhilburn.com, you can go to the link there that I just put in, and you click on, up at the top, click on the word learn. It'll give you two different things to choose from. There's the creative community and there is the palette knife painting for beginners. And so you can take a look. There's a description of what each group is all about and everything that's included in each one. And you can find those there on my website. So I hope this was helpful and fun and relaxing, because that's what my goal is, to help people to enjoy painting, not be stressed, not be scared to try it, and not worry about messing up, because you can't mess it up. I like to be messy with my artwork, and I like to be loose with my painting, and that's why I really love painting with a palette knife the best. So, let's see, do you have any other questions? Hi, Tina. I'm so glad I had so many first-time watchers today. It's been a while since I've done a live video, and so I'm happy that you're here. All right, I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to go for today, and I will see you guys later. I hope to see some of you in the new beginners group.